Floor.
Hello.
Turn on your mic.
Hello. The Red Bank Historic Preservation Commission will hold a regular meeting on Wednesday, June 18, 2025 at 7 p.m. at 90 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting has been posted at Borough Hall, filed with Borough Clerk, and provided to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times. The commission has maintained a cutoff hour of 8:30 p.m. for its hearings. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lost it a couple of years ago. It's been a thing, trying to find it in my house. I said, "Oh,
All right. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes of the prior meeting? And if not, does someone wish to move to approve them? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Now we'll move into reports, starting with the Minor Works Committee. I believe we had the Minor Works Committee reviewed one.
Yes, we reviewed 36 Broad Street, and that was for paint color.
Mhm.
Replacing the facade paint of the building. They're changing the color of it, so that was,
That's a brick building on Broad Street. It's next to the building that they just repainted with the red bag register sign on the top.
Yeah. So what color are they painting it?
They're gonna do it, it's historic color, it's gray. They're gonna go with gray. Right now, it's like a faded
It's a faded,
something.
muted red almost or something.
It's a faded cream.
Yeah. What about the
All the details
details on the upper top is,
are all going to be painted in light colors.
it's gonna be the smaller accents to be painted gold. Existing cornice to be painted black. Existing cornice to be painted black, so it's, sorry, blue and black.
and the wood around all these windows is staying?
That is going to be painted black. Yeah.
Okay. Some of them are crooked, the wood on them, like they're just painting, right? They're not.
Just painting. There was no discussion of any,
Like you see how crooked some of the sills are on that?
it's probably original cells.
Yeah, no, this stretch of Broad is the prettiest stretch of Broad Street.
Absolutely.
When you look at that top, it goes on for those three buildings right there. And it's really pretty, that detail work. They must have all been built at the same time?
I think so. I think they were,
Cause it looks like exactly the same woodwork.
I think they were all built in the wake of the fire.
Yeah.
So they were, all of a similar, like Italian.
Yeah, it looks great. Cool. So that's gold and cream colors and
Gold, blue, black, brown. That's like what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
the gray.
the only change from what's there now is going with the gray.
Right. Cool. Okay. Yeah. What are they doing anything to, I know Brooks Brothers going in the Chase, are they doing anything to the exterior of that?
The Brooks Brothers, just the, they're doing, adding an ADA ramp.
Okay. But they're not doing anything to the facade or exterior
No, just the ramp,
or, okay.
making way for that.
Are they gonna occupy just the ground floor?
I think they're occupying everything. Not entirely sure. I have to double check on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's other offices above that building, I think, right?
I remember years ago when I was in local schools here. There was in town, there was Nadelson's on the corner. There was Roots,
Yeah, Roots.
there was Clayton and McGee.
Mm,
Not sure what was where the Chase building, where Chase is now. I think, was that Prounds?
that was Browns, right?
Yeah, that was Brown's.
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
Sure.
Can we move to the River Center report, Karen?
there's nothing that I've heard.
Nothing new?
No.
Okay, great. Then, Anthony, can you do the,
Yeah, so we have received our first draft from Stephen. It's the text part of the guidelines. So basically he's pulling history, pulling the styles, everything that he has gathered text wise on the guidelines. And so we're going through that and giving our comments, critiques on what we think is missing or highlighted, because he has to condense it. What did he say percentage? He has to condense that down to?
A lower percent.
Yeah.
But
That's the history portion.
that's the history.
History portion, he wants to condense.
Yeah.
Feels like it to about 4 pages, I think. he
Yeah.
said.
It needs condensed.
Yeah,
That's my project, so I'm treating it like, seriously, like a graduate thesis, and I'm just going through and saying, I suggest this, and
how many pages is it now? I flipped through it last night and history, the front part was maybe 10 or 12 pages.
It's something like that.
I
yeah.
mean the history part, because.
Yeah.
The history part.
That's,
And that's what he needs to get shortened and, it's obviously you want to say all this stuff, but at the same time, we gotta.
It's funny, even though it's as many pages as it is, you trip over stuff. And I was like pointing stuff, I was discussing it with my wife last night. So she's like, what started the fire?
right,
I said, I know there's a record of that somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's way beyond the scope of this.
Yeah, it's just not, it's just, we can't do it all.
Oh, yeah.
This, right? And so we're going through and figuring out. And then the next step from there will be, we're meeting with him again next week. And then what's the next phase after that one?
The draft is on the website, on the portal for everyone on the board to provide their comment, not just the.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Talk to
Everyone can.
Lou about
That
it.
was in the
Yeah,
packet.
that's in the
Oh, great.
packet.
Okay, so everyone can give comments on it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that we could just, and I know there's a core committee, but so that everyone. can
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
it's great.
Yeah, there's,
Back in there.
not trying to say not to.
Um, And,
On here.
and so I guess the next phase, I guess he's going to take portion by portion, the different guidelines, the
Yeah.
different sections of the guidelines, but this is just like the layout. And really too, if, as you're reviewing, not just the history, but for the whole commission, like the different alteration, sections, if you think that there should be something else added that's missing from this list, like signage portion, other outside of that, or should be removed, just send me an email and let me know. And we can talk about it at the next meeting.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the stuff that's in there now is very bullety.
Yeah.
That's placeholders to be
Yeah,
fleshed out.
fleshed out, yes.
Yeah.
So that's the next step of us talking
Okay.
about it, yeah. But if there's anything else that you see,
Okay, you did a great first run over it.
Yeah.
one thing that I guess I've been trying to organize while we are, while we meet as a committee, remember Maren had mentioned that, the chair and vice chair of the River Center had comments and was worried about the design guidelines. Well,
Want to meet with us?
Yes.
yes, they want to meet with us. They met with me separately to bring up the points that they gave to Maren. And again, I pushed back on it. But for them, they felt as though the commission would not understand the burden that it would be for property owners or businesses on the ground floor to adhere to the design guidelines for the storefront.
For which specific aspect?
As in just if it's to restore or bring back to its original condition, it would be costly for the property owner and therefore deterring tenants, future tenants. That's what they're worried.
Yeah, hopefully so, yeah.
However, I push back to say I don't see that as much as a big issue as they're making it seem.
There's not a lot of buildings that have
Right.
anything original as far as a door.
Right, so it's not to say that the design guidelines is going to, a lot of times these applicants come to my desk and they say, well, what does the commission want to see?
Yeah.
I'm in a historic district, what does the commission want to see? I don't have anything to point to, so therefore now I have this book and they want to know how to do it so that they can abide by it. I don't feel like they'll push back to say, well, we can't, I haven't seen that. And that's why I guess I'm pushing back on them.
We
because
should.
it's not that much of a burden.
Yeah.
So
And it's
that's,
still case by case, right? Even if it's in the guidelines, they can still come and argue the case that like, hey, this specific building.
the board can then use it's twofold. As we said, the board can then use the applicant is using it to help guide them, but also the board can then use it as like a scale to say, well, if you move it closer, your design closer to this aspect based on our guidelines, it's more easier for the commission to approve the application. Than just to say, well, there's not really any guidelines, but we're all just going, it's for everybody's use, but they feel as very strongly about being,
Is it John and Jay?
yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
From,
And Jay's responsible for removing most of the historic stuff from the town.
and
That's on record.
yeah, and so I'm kind of in that to say, you know,
Jay living with that?
yes, he
Yeah.
does,
He does.
Bill, I think. To kind of say to them that not to sell the commission members that are on the committee short. I told them that, you know, Marjorie walks the streets like it's nothing. You know, she's very attentive to it. And so it's not that she's not familiar with Broad Street because they wanted us to re-walk Broad Street so that they could point out how it's not historic anymore. And I kind of said that we've already done that.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, Anthony Sotero's on our committee and he's very familiar with the history. You know, his family's one of the older families that's been here, just like John's family has been one of the older families that's been here. So there is a connection to it and no one wants to see the vacancy of Broad Street.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
It's not to burden them.
Something, yeah, we're not gonna put some in it to burden anyone. But they just don't have the confidence, I would like to say, in the committee to trust that that's why they want to meet with the committee. And so I've been trying
These
to.
are recommendations at the end of the day and they can
Right.
tell us to F ourselves, can't they?
And well,
So, what do we-
Even like what they suggest too are recommendations in themselves. So they give recommendations to businesses that's within the special improvements district, and the tenant or applicant or property owner can say, I don't want to do that. I want to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Like they're not, and
I saw Jay tell the painter of that Red Bank Register building that he didn't like the red.
yeah, and they can disregard
And
it.
guy was like, we already painted it.
Oh, so that's I want them at the table, but I want Michelle to be there to kind of,
I would
Explain it.
appreciate her to be there.
because they're both attorneys.
Correct, yeah.
And I think her there can
Yeah.
better.
Appreciate her to be there.
The land use attorney, in addition to being affordable housing, not affordable housing, sorry, my brain is everywhere with affordable.
For preservation?
Historic preservation, in addition to being a historic preservation attorney, but she's also a land use, a very prominent,
Mhm.
land use attorney. And so is John Anderson.
Yeah.
So the two of them can talk it out, battle, municipal land use law together on why the design guidelines is needed as the, zoning code enforcement.
I guess I had a conversation with Maren the very first time I met her. I guess she thought it was off record and she just, I don't know why, she sort of said, it should be this way. This is the way I did it in Tom's River. I know she's a singular person and she wants to do it, but I'm not quite sure. We're both advisory. So if the River Center says they want this, we can say, well, that's nice, but we want this. What determines that?
So the thing is with the design guidelines, they're then married to our zoning ordinance.
Right.
But the big recommends, it's just a recommended, there's no real code that forces an applicant to do
Right.
what they recommend. But for us, that's why when we approve the design guidelines, it's gonna go to the planning board, and then the planning board is gonna say it's consistent with our master plan. And then it's gonna go to council for council to amend our zoning ordinance, our historic preservation ordinance, to have that adjacent to it.
Right.
So that's the teeth that the design guidelines.
River Center might have to change what they, not,
Not change, but they can give their recommendations, but like we said before, people can choose to disregard it or not disregard it, but what the design guidelines will be is zoning code at this.
correct, yeah.
And it's not a complete overlap in terms of what River Center has and what historic preservation covers. So there is that little leap to be able to push as well.
Yeah.
We're not doing the same thing in the same locations, but I understand how nervous they are about getting.
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
I would rather them wait until we have the final project.
Yes, yeah.
Like the first draft, really, before you give pushback to say that you don't want what's in the.
that's what caught me off guard. It's like, they want to meet with us already?
Yeah, no.
We didn't even do anything.
Exactly.
So that's the point. They want to be there from the beginning.
Correct, and it's like, that's not your job.
Exactly, so that's my pushback.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Michelle only, does not work on Fridays during the summer, so that's why she won't be able to attend
Okay.
next.
We may be, I don't know. Are you flexible on Fridays?
Yeah, Friday's probably the most
Are you
flexible.
flexible, Shauna?
I am flexible on Fridays, it's just Michelle's not.
Michelle's not.
No, I meant other than Friday.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
Yeah, I
could.
think that,
yeah,
I know Marge is, I can
Yeah,
be
maybe for the summer.
definitely flexible.
Yeah.
And so, it's the case with Stephen. I don't know what he's got
right.
going on, but as he said, he's willing to do it.
Yeah, we could definitely do it virtual or anything, but I feel like if we're going to meet with the River Center outside of Marin, then we need to have Michelle on that call.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like the stronghold that they're trying to put to say that the commission will deter business. I doubt that, because if you have a very nice looking downtown that looks symmetrical,
Yeah, cohesive.
and cohesive, and it's a comprehensive look, then you attract businesses to be there because they want that nice look of their business. They want that aesthetic look because they know people are attracted to what they see.
And Marion personally, I'm not gonna speak for somebody, but seemed like she was in support of having uniformity with those kind of things, like signage and all those, yeah, and that kind of stuff.
So, Yeah, there's
But she's not, you know,
a lot of personalities there because you
Right.
have,
It is a lot of personalities.
she's got to answer to two of
Yeah,
she does, and that's
the board and everybody.
something she's getting used to, yeah.
right.
Well, I think,
So are we holding off a meeting with them for
I
now?
think so until we can figure out how to meet with
With Michelle.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
we should also probably try to have a first draft done.
think so. I think so. It's very premature and I'm
really
have
is.
my thoughts already
Yeah.
on this whole thing, so I can hold them off to say it's very premature and we will talk about it when,
If the time is right, I look forward to it. You know, absolutely.
But not, I
It's
mean,
just
we're
not-
already wordsmithing this whole thing, you know, ourselves, so it's gonna be them getting in there, but, someone passed on to me and said about the bubble tea place. What the hell were you guys on the River Center and the Historic Preservation thinking? I don't know whether it's doing good or it's doing bad, but they thought it was,
not bad.
I thought it's,
It looks very chic.
What's the address? I haven't. Heard of
It's
them?
pretty Cory.
it's really.
Oh, Corey, yeah, it looks fun.
I don't know how good it's, how well it's, the business is,
I hope they succeed.
because the other one opened up just about the same time over on Front Street. It also has bubble tea.
That's been there a few years.
Has it?
Yeah.
And
It's near the Rita's a few years.
Oh, yeah, that JJ's.
It
Yeah,
was JJ.
it was JJ's, yeah.
Ever since JJ's went out, geez, before COVID, around COVID.
Yeah.
Bubble tea place.
That bubble tea,
2018.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's not all it is, right? It's other things.
It's desserts. I mean, I've been in there once or twice and I did not expect it to still be around.
10 years ago, a bubble tea place opened up in town and was here for like 6 months.
I don't,
They're not the first bubble. They said they're claiming they're the first bubble tea place. But they're not.
I don't, I think bubble tea's already on out.
It was out 10 years
Yeah.
ago when those people came in, they had already missed it.
Yeah, oh well, hopefully it'll.
Yeah, we're praying it works.
yeah, really nice.
She did say to me, cause I stopped by during the dog days when they were out there, cause my husband's on the animal welfare, so I'd go over to all this. And we were talking about, and she said, well, you know, she's so cute. And she said, we can always pivot. And I love the way she said, we could always pivot to something else,
Yeah.
like the bubble tea. And I said, yeah, and also think calories, because there's a whole lot of things like not so sweet, but
Yeah.
they're aware of that. And I think she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, good business people. She knows how to do it.
So we're good there and nothing else to add about the.
No, that's it. We're just the meeting next week, right?
Right.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Next item is update on the library presentation, the
Right.
archery.
I'm trying to go back to an email from her to see if she said a date, do you know?
Yeah, I have it down.
She's,
So
I remember that
Betsy
being
has
November date.
decided to assist her with the presentation.
Oh, cool.
that's great.
Yeah, so Betsy will work with her on that, getting that organized, but
Make sure to get independent study credit for this. Always looking for the options.
I don't remember what she intended.
I see.
Do you?
I thought she had basically nothing to report.
Yeah, so I
That's
mean,
what
it's all the
I-
way in November,
Yes.
so
I think it's the 13th.
November 13th, so that's when the presentation.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds all right. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, the 13th.
And how did your presentation go?
Oh, it was really cool. The Historic Preservation Commission conference was last week down in Burlington County at the
Right.
Prison Museum. And so our organization, my cousin and I that do the immersive history, we debuted an app that we created that allows like AI characters to pop up in front of you and also like other 3D objects that we scan and different things. But it was really cool. Our presentation was very well received. And then just talking to a lot of different organizations and finding out about funding that there is available for, National Historic Landmark buildings. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know about
Right.
that is available. They have a lot of funds that are available. So if there is a building that's National Historic and needs windows, like they can get a grant up to $700,000.
I don't know, do
On
we
it.
have anything national here?
We have probably a
Club
few.
National?
It's
Oh,
state.
Even if they're not national, if they have the eligibility or they have the potential or
Yeah,
anything, she's gonna try to get me a list of,
Oh, good.
I guess, ones that they already have, but it's something as we're going through what we're going through
Mhm.
and we find something and, there's somebody that's trying to restore,
Right, right.
there's avenues for that.
Was Melissa there? See if there-
Did not see her.
I think that's it.
Okay.
But Stephen was there, correct?
I didn't see Steven.
Oh.
It does, I mean, there were hundreds of people there. I was
Yeah.
looking for him and I didn't even, it was crazy, like the lead up to it. And then we were there the whole night. We recreated a prison inmate and put him in his actual cell. And then the characters are given, we feed them their like script. So he knows his whole history because there's a book about him. So we told him where he was and he was not happy about it. And then people were talking to him and he was like, "You think this is a circus? I only have however many minutes left to live," and all
This
this.
was AI?
Yeah, it's AI. It's AI powered, but we crafted, there was a sketch of him, so we're able to create him from a sketch and, but it's all, we use a 3D program, a video game program, Unreal Engine to
Okay,
create the characters. We did a thing at Monmouth a couple
Yeah,
of years ago on a.
could you show us at some point?
Yeah, I have when I have it on my phone, the app, we have like Abraham Lincoln, we're working on the presidents right now. The big push right is for the 250. So that's why I was really
Yeah.
interested in you talk about the house because we showcase some of this.
Oh, yeah, definitely take a look.
Like a short film that we're working on based off of the, Battle of Monmouth. And now I'm researching Battle of Monmouth, which I never knew. And George Washington, that was like where he really took the stand and took command of the army and like really took control. And that was his like big moment.
Patrick Murray, who was our former Monmouth Polling Institute,
Yeah,
who is now not doing that. He's involved with New Jersey Revolution. You should.
that's who was next to us. We were next to Revolution
Right,
NJ.
okay, so
They put us next to each other on purpose.
Okay.
Like, hey, this is Revolution NJ, here's the
if
town.
you want.
Yeah,
Because I should see him. in-
Yeah, I'd love to.
Right, he's great.
cool, very cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
All right. Does anyone on the commission have any other topic they'd like to discuss that's not on the agenda?
Think so.
Okay, any public listening in? Public are invited to comment?
Speak up.
Who's on there? Is that just all Borough?
It's Liam and us.
Just me, I think.
Yeah.
Still looking dapper. Yeah.
Okay. Would someone like to move to adjourn?
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
We're adjourned.
You're gonna have
Wow.
to see
All
that.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
sleep.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right.
You as well. Good night.
Yeah, the New Jersey Symphony right across the street.